Hopefully good morning, good morning. It's just shy of 11 a.m. here in beautiful Western Tennessee. I'm here for the next hour where I'll be offering free readings. Good morning, good morning. It's just shy of 11 a.m. here in beautiful Western Tennessee. I'm here for the next hour where I'll be offering free readings. If you would like a reading, just send me a message in the chat and we'll get started. I have put my Venmo and Cash App information in the chat. This is a free reading, but of course, if you are willing to donate even $3, that helps me and my channel, helps me to buy more tarot decks, better audio, because I know my audio kind of sucks. It just supports my mission, I guess, for lack of a better word. I will remind everybody it's about a 20-second lag between me speaking or acting and what you actually see on the screen. So if you don't get a reaction from me right away, just be patient. There is a lag. I can't do anything about that. That's just the way the internet guardians work, I guess. I'm going to go silent here for a minute. I need to look at a few things, adjust some things. Nightbot is putting up my Cash App and my Venmo. And also reminding you that if you have a burning question, that you can get a full reading for $8. And you can get, hey Phantom Punk, how are you? How are you doing today? Didn't we just ask this question like 3 days ago? You think that's changed in the last 3 days? How about you narrow it down to a specific area of your life, like what's coming towards me in fill in the blank, and also narrow it down to a time span. Phantom, I am really happy to hear that. I mean, I appreciate you asking the general question. I'm just trying to help you to get more out of it. DraftKings. Oh my goodness. Will you get a win on DraftKings soon? Well, that's a yes/no question, so that's going to require the pendulum. So this is my pendulum. Hi, Latoya. Latoya, I'm just answering a yes/no question for Phantom Punk, and then I'll get right to you. So Phantom Punk, if you don't remember, back and forth is no for my pendulum, and round is yes. So let's see what we get. And I don't know, I have a hard time showing this on camera. So we'll see. Okay, will Phantom Punk get a win on DraftKings soon? Will Phantom Punk get a win on DraftKings soon? That looks like a no to me, Phantom. I'm sorry, hon. That's a no. Don't spend too much money. Okay, Latoya, let me just put you in the queue. Be careful not to ask a yes/no question, because that is not a question for... Okay, Phantom, don't spend all your money in one place. You're welcome. Don't spend. Make sure it's not a yes/no question, because that is not a question for the tarot. That's a question for the pendulum. Unless you want it to ask a yes/no question. I think sometimes the hardest thing to do is put your wishes and desires into a question form. You're up, Latoya. If you want some advice on that, I do have a video on my channel that talks about 10 ways to make for better reading. You could certainly look at that. Is your son's father trying to get back in communication with you? Okay, by communication, do you mean like talk to you, or do you mean get with you? Because that's a yes/no question, my friend. Let's see. We'll grab my pendulum here. My neighbors entertaining me with their music choices as they drive down the road. Okay. Does he want to be back in communication with you? Okay. Okay, let's see. All right. Does Latoya's son's father, Tay, want to be back in communication with Latoya? That is a strong yes. He's a little hesitant maybe, but it's definitely a second. Okay, I said Tay. I said, does her son's father, Tay, want to be back in communication with her? So that's a yes. Probably not the one you wanted to have in communication. I don't know. So, yeah. That's going to be a yes. You're welcome, honey. I hope you have a great day. I hope that communication is what you're wanting from him. It's my pleasure. So we just did a couple of yes/no questions for Phantom Punk and Latoya. Remember that the tarot doesn't do, well, my tarot doesn't do yes or no questions. I can still do them, but I do them with my pendulum, which is right here. And my pendulum, for me, if it goes in a circle, it's a yes. If it goes back and forth, it's a no. But if you, I was just saying, it's the hardest thing to do is formulate a question about what your true will is, what you really want. And I do suggest that you go look at that video that I have posted on 10 ways to improve your tarot reading. If I get a second here, I'll try and put a link in there for it. Also, as I was saying, I do offer regular readings. My most basic question reading is $8. But for these free readings, if you can, I'm always appreciative of anything you can donate for the free reading. It helps me. And of course, liking, subscribing is great. People focus very much on the actual pendulum. The pendulum does nothing. It's just an object. It's the energy in you. It's you connecting with spirit. This is always the case. It's you connecting with spirit that makes it work. Now, how well connected you are with spirit varies from person to person. So, or the way that works best for you. Because I've known people who will put that pendulum there and they'll wait and wait and wait, and it will not move. And so that means either they're not opening up to spirit, or the pendulum just isn't the thing for them. Now, for me, the pendulum's always been super cooperative. It's super cooperative for whatever reason. I'm not saying I'm spiritually better than everybody else or anything like that. It's just that particular way of divination, or where they are in their head at that moment, doesn't work. I love runes, but I have never had much luck with runes. So there you go. Runes do not, I do not function with runes very well. I don't know why. You should try it. Try not to get hung up too much on the material. A lot of people get all hung up on, this pendulum came to me as part of a bag of broken jewelry. It wasn't even actually a pendulum when I got it. It was just this prism here, and I just attached a chain to it. But that doesn't mean you can't get one that speaks to you, that you think is real pretty. And if you go to a shop where they have several choices, what I would do is I would go through the pen, pick one you like, put it over your hand like this, and ask it what is yes and what is no. You don't have to say it out loud if you're embarrassed, and it'll indicate to you whether it's yes or no. What's yes, what's no. For me, circle is yes, back and forth is no. And if it doesn't respond to you, try another one. Maybe try 2 or 3. But don't get all hung up on the actual pendulum itself, because that is just the spiritual, that's just the tool. It's like the car is the tool to get me where to go. The car is not choosing where to take me. You know what I'm saying? You are the one driving the car. I hope that makes sense. I would also say that more often than not, it's usually not it's not that it's a bad idea, it's usually not very beneficial to do your own thing for yourself for some reason, at least when it comes to tarot. I think maybe we get in our own way with our own expectations or whatever. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what causes that. So the queue is open. If anyone would like a reading, they are free. You're welcome, hon. Well, I mean, you mean for yourself? I would just say that the problem with doing any kind of divination for yourself, I think it can be done. I just think that there has to be a certain disconnection from your personal life in order to really get a clear answer, because we're gonna form it in the way that what we want to see, or what we think we're going to see sometimes. So it's good to have an objective person. Anyway, don't mean to blabber. I need to get in here and change a couple things. I need to change Nightbot. I don't know if I need to do it right this minute, but here I am in the Garden Tarot. It is just a little after 11 a.m. Central Time in lovely Western Tennessee. Hey, Zara, I thought you'd be in school. How were senior pictures? Well, I don't know. Latoya was here last time, and Phantom Punk was here. I think they came after you left, Zara. Thank you, Latoya. You just got out of school. Good gracious, where do you go to school? I mean, don't answer that question. That's not a safe question. I had assumed you're on the East Coast. That's noon. But I don't need to know where you are. That's not a safe question, so I apologize. Good. I'm glad they went well. Speaking of which, I hope that you are all being safe on the internet. Oh, okay. I just I used to be a teacher. I used to be an actual in the school teacher, so I'm like hyper sensitive about especially young folks, and I know you're 18, but being careful. Yeah, I guess since you're a senior, I think we talked about this, that you've already met all your requirements, and I had said that's how it was for me, like I go to a couple classes in the morning and then I'd be done. That's right. And since I'm talking to you, Zara, I just want to say, I try and remember to say it every time, that if you are under the age of 18, you should not be in here getting readings. I can't tell by looking at you whether you are under the age of 18 or not. So make sure that you are doing the responsible thing. Ari, how are you doing? The beautiful Aries princess, or Ari. I think I want to call you Ari. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're well. Yeah. I know you are. I know you are. Allegedly, of course, I have no way of knowing. I believe you that you are. I feel like you've been honest. Oh, okay. Absolutely. Do you know how much you're going to get paid there? Or when you say transfer, do you mean like you're going to like a different place where you might get more money, but you don't know what the money is? I don't know how Wendy's operates, so. So, Ari, that will be a yes/no question, which I would answer with the pendulum. Do you want to rephrase that question so that you can get a little bit more detail with the tarot? Zara, do you want a question? I didn't ask. A good question might be, Ari, how can I make more money? Okay, I'm going to put you in the queue after Ari. So just let me know, do you want to like rephrase that question so it's a question for the tarot, or do you want to just do the yes/no with the pendulum? It's gotten a little chilly here. I'm in my jacket. Okay, Ari, I haven't seen an answer from you, so I'm gonna assume that the yes/no is sufficient. So here we go. Okay. So, Ari would like to know that when they transfer to the new Wendy's, will they still need to have a second job? Oh, I was just saying that with the yes/no question, I use the pendulum because that's the most appropriate tool for that. But if you can rephrase the question so you can get more details, I can use the tarot. So, for example, you could say, like, how could I, answer, start with a what or a how. Like, what can I do to make more money, or something along those lines. I wasn't saying you had to use that. Okay. So think about, think a little bit deeper about your situation, and rather than a yes/no, think about what specifically do you need? What do you need information on? Yeah, what do you need information on specifically? Like, for me, the first thing that came into my mind was like, well, do you already know whether you're going to make more money at this Wendy's, or are you moving to a different location where maybe the cost of living is less? So I need to post into the chat the link to the video. Okay, that's a good one. So how will things go if I got a second job after I transfer to Wendy's? That's an excellent way to go about it. So, Ari would like to know how things would go if they got a second job after they transfer to the new Wendy's. How will things go if they got a second job after they transfer to the new Wendy's? How will things go if they get a second job after they transfer to the new Wendy's? Okay. So the first comes up is the Five of Swords. Second comes up Ace of Coins, that's good. And the third comes up Two of Wands. Okay, so I would say that at least at first, yes, it's a much better question. Or it's not necessarily good or bad, it's just it's a question in with the tarot that is more useful. I think that at first you're going to find that there's going to be healthy kind of like discourse over it. Like you're going to be putting out your feelers and you're going to be getting this sense that there's a lot of competition out there. Like maybe you'll feel like it's hard to get that second job. But I want to let you know that this thing that will happen is really going to stretch your it's going to expand your ideas of what is the second job, what that option is, and that may probably involve other people's input. So I don't know if you're a very social person, but I think that being open to what even like random strangers might say to you in the line at the grocery store, being open to the universe sending you messages through other people that are going to help you with your direction with the second job. And with the Ace of Coins there, that tells me that yes, there will be a second job, and that it will be beneficial to you. And then with the Two of Wands, though, again, there's this reinforcement. Yeah, there's this reinforcement of this idea of looking like in a very narrow band. Like you're not seeing all the possibilities for what a second job could be. So that's where I really think that I want you to be open in your heart to the universe sending you advice and messages through other people. They could be your friends. I think a lot of times friends can not necessarily be the best source of this kind of advice. So I'm inclined, what I'm seeing as my mind is like you're standing in the line at the grocery store and some lady turns around and says something random to you. So be open to what strangers have to say, what people that are new in your life have to say, without prompting. So you don't say, hey, where there's a job, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that I think that the guidance you need as far as that second job is going to come from the universe through other people in some way. So just be open to that experience, okay? And be observant of what you see around you. Because sometimes the signal that the universe is giving you is not someone actually saying something. It could be someone doing something. So that would be my advice for you. But I do feel like there is going to be coming one after some struggle. And that you need to open up your vision as to what that second job could be. I do see an end to pain, so that's good on the bottom. Kind of an end to pain. Although I gotta tell you, girl, I'm on a fixed income. I don't know I don't know how much Wendy pays, but I imagine it's like every other job around here. It's not enough. And the cost of food here, oh my goodness. You're welcome, honey. I hope that it is really successful for you. Do let me know how things are going, because I like to know. Because I'm old and nosy like that. I'm like that old auntie that wants to know all the business. I'm just teasing. Okay, so in the queue now is our friend Zara, if Zara has thought of a question. Or maybe she has headed to school, I don't know. What will be arriving generally in your near path soon? Okay. What is going to be arriving in Zara's path? Like, what's going to step out in front of her as she walks through life and say, "Hey girl." What's going to step out in front of her and just boom, just out of the blue. Out of the blue. That unexpected opportunity. What's it going to be? What is that unexpected opportunity going to be for Zara? Got 6 of Wands reversed. We got 5 of Swords reversed. We just had that, and the Lovers reversed. Girl, I don't know if this is an opportunity. This might be a disappointment. I would say that with the 6 of Wands reversed, there is going to be, and also with the 5 of Swords, somebody is going to try and knock you down in some way, whether it's to your face or behind your back, I do not know. I guess sticks and stones, sticks and stones. People can say anything they want, but you have to stand strong in who you are and know that you are strong and beautiful and powerful, and what other people say does not matter. It isn't always reversed. Remember, it's not necessarily negative. It can also be just a delay or a blockage in something. But I just feel like with this 5 of Swords here, and with this reversed 6 of Wands, and with the Lovers reversed, I just feel like someone's going to be, and also you got this Knight of Wands on the bottom here. I just feel like someone's going to say something hurtful that might make you feel weak or less than. And I just want to tell you that is not true. So I wrote this down yesterday. Maybe I wrote this down for you. I'll just put this right here. Can you read that? I don't know how it shows up on your screen, but it says, "Be yourself. You're not born to impress anyone." Okay? Now, Zara, try not to be too, it's not that there's anything wrong with getting tarot readings, but getting them all the time, over and over again, that's not good. So I would say, I don't know how often you're getting them. I feel like it's not good, but I would suggest that if you are wanting to get them all the time, maybe you need to investigate the possibility that you want to learn how to read them. That you're so into it that you just want to know more and more. So the best way to do that is to study. And the best way to study is to get a deck that comes with a good solid book and start learning. And I'm going to give you a little exercise if you decide to do that you can start with. It's very easy. Yeah, but it's like ice cream. There's nothing wrong with ice cream. But you don't want to eat ice cream a lot because it has an cumulative, it's not good for you. So here's an exercise, Zara, if you get a hold of a tarot deck that you can do to start learning the tarot. So every day, in the morning, whenever it's best for you, I want you to split the deck and look and see what card it is. For me, it's the King of Cups. And I want you to make that card your focus for the day. So you're going to read up as much as you can about the meaning of that card. And you're going to read up as much as you can about the reversed meaning of that card. Hi, Queen! Okay, so if you decide to start exploring learning tarot, that's an exercise for you. Queen, you are up. Yeah, give me a question. Try not to make it a yes or no question. Let me put you in the queue. So Queen is here with us in the queue, doing her thinking about her question. How does Amari feel about you? Okay, that's 2 questions. Which one do you want to answer? You're welcome, honey. Have a good day. Which one would you like answered, the first one or the second one? And I will tell you the second one is a yes/no question, so that's a pendulum question. They are. Or, they don't feel good about themselves, so they feel like they need to tear other people down. Pray for people who hate you, right? The first one, absolutely. So, how does Amari feel about Queen? How does Amari feel about Queen? Queen, I hope you're thinking of Amari as I'm focusing on your shuffle here. Picture them in your mind. Think of their name. How does Amari feel about Queen? It is. It's good that you learned that now, Zara. I didn't learn it till I was 60. Luckily, I have some strong ancestors that kick butt. How does Amari feel about Queen? How does Amari feel about Queen? How does Amari feel about Queen? And Queen, when I was shuffling your cards, what came into my mind's eye were little emoji hearts, like a bunch of them, like going bloop, 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 bloop. Got the 3 of Wands reversed, or upright. We have the 5 of Coins upright. And we have the Emperor. Queen, I would say that, are you guys out of contact for some reason, or are you going to be out of contact? Is one or the other of you leaving or going someplace for a while? Because there's a strong vibe here of missing someone. There's a real strong vibe of like missing someone. And there is also a strong, could be now a strong, what's the word I'm looking for? Okay. There's a strong, I don't want to say male, but masculine, so not necessarily a man, but some kind of masculine authority figure that has a role to play here. So this could be like a father or a boss. I don't think it's Amari themselves. On the bottom is the Knight of Coins. And when we talk about the Knight of Coins, we're thinking about very slow, very, very slow progress. Progress, but very slow progress. Okay. So I do feel like they do miss you. They are in their feelings. I don't know who the person is, and that would be another question. But it's a strong masculine presence, whether it's it could be like a matriarch, like a woman. So I'm not saying it's a man necessarily, but there is some kind of presence there that is kind of, they're not a negative presence. So they're not a bad presence. They're not reversed. But it's definitely there, and it has a role to play in this situation. I hope that you guys get in contact. It is going to be a long time, though. Yeah. Keep it in mind for another reading, and do keep in mind that this is going to be a long time. It's going to be a long wait. With that Knight of Pentacles, that's the slowest moving energy. That can be a good thing because, that gives you time to really think things through and plan. I don't know. Good questions to ask next time. Or if you want to do the one card, the one question reading, that's $8. So think about that, Queen. I like your abbreviation because even though it's a total abbreviation, I understand what you're saying, which is unusual for me. So I like your, I don't know what that is. I like your Instagram speak. You're welcome. So folks, the queue is open again. I can't believe it, but I've already been on here almost an hour. If you would like a reading, just let me know and I'll put you on the queue. Yes, no questions are pendulum readings. I use my pendulum because that's the most appropriate tool for that kind of question. And questions that involve more detail, I can do the tarot with those. Queen, maybe you meditate on it and you'll figure out who it is, who this strong energy is, and what they're wanting, or why they have a role to play. I was talking to Zara earlier, and she had mentioned she had a reading where there was someone that was wanting to hurt her or do something mean, and she had said, yeah, the evil eye is a real thing, which I've discovered that was the case. You know, I always kind of poo-pooed like the idea of protection and evil eye and all that nonsense, and then I kind of found out that people can be jealous of you. They don't mean you any harm necessarily, but they can be jealous of you, and through their jealousy they can bring, hey, light blue, I almost called you light bulb. Through their jealousy they can bring bad energy into your life. Light blue, I'm assuming you'd like a reading. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. So just whenever you're ready, just put your question up there. Have I never seen you? Am I mistaking you for someone else? Anyway, what light blue is thinking about their question. Yeah, I realized that rather late in life. Hey, Devaya. Yeah, don't trip. But as I was telling Zara and whoever else was in the room, I fortunately have some kick-ass ancestors who pay attention and make sure no one does too much damage. I can't tell you how many times I've been in dangerous situations and somehow got out of them just by the help of my ancestors. That's who I attribute it to. Devaya, I'm putting you in the queue. I'm assuming you want a reading, but if you don't, that's okay. I'm just waiting on light blue to give me their question, if they're still here. And if they don't come through like in the next couple of minutes, I will move on to you if you have a question, and then I can always come back to them. But right now we have 2 people in the queue. You're welcome, darling. I hope you're doing well. And light blue whenever you're ready. Actually, you can sky high. You're going to be after Devoya. And we're waiting on light blue to give us their question. Devaya, I keep saying Devoya. Okay, light blue, I'm just going to give it about 30 more seconds. I'm not sure, maybe you fell out. Don't be concerned if I move on to the next person. I'll just put you at the end of the queue, so you will get your question answered. As soon as you're able to put a question in the chat, you'll be put at the back of the queue, and then I'll get to you after I do Devaya and Sky High. So, Devaya, what is your question? Absolutely. What a great question. I need to get a bell to go ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling when I think that the question is a good, solid question for tarot. So Devaya used to have a career in IT, but they left, and they're wondering if they should go back. What's the potential of possibly going back? What's the potential of going back into that career? Okay, I'm getting some messages, Devaya. Take them for what they're worth. The first message that's coming through to me is consider AI. So what that means is that you might make sure you are looking at all possible options in that field. What is the potential? What is the potential of returning to the IT field? What is the potential in returning to that field? What potential do we see there? Okay, another thing just came to my mind. This is kind of a stopgap, kind of an in-between thing, but training AI in particular. Maybe it's turned into a permanent thing, but something to consider. So what do we got here? We have the Three of Coins. All right. So that's a good one because that's working together. That's working to make something happen. Working together with other people. So like on teams. So that would be a good thing. Using skills you already have. That all makes sense. It also could be that collaboration with other people on like a independent contractor basis. Now I do feel like this Three of Swords, so we've got two threes. So when we're talking about threes, we're really talking about manifesting. And that's okay, Light Blue. I'll get you after I finish with Sky High. No problem. I feel like, first of all, threes are manifestations. So you're manifesting this teamwork, but you're also manifesting this kind of, I don't know why you left phone home, IT, but I get the feeling that there was disappointment in the situation, or maybe there was an unhealthy working relationship. And that's something you're going to have to deal with, as in like, as you get back into this teamwork environment, you're going to have to deal with your issues with working with the team. Okay. And then the last card is the reverse Nine of Swords, which is really nice. I feel like that's a really positive and strong yes to the idea. That whatever it is that's troubling you would be then alleviated. And so there would be a sense of, okay, what's coming to my mind is a sense of returning home, so a sense of relief, of freedom from anxiety. So I would say this is a definite yes, that you should look into it more seriously. Look into it a little bit more open-mindedly, and do deal with any issues from the past that may have been a hindrance when you were doing it before. I hope that answers your question. All right, so now let me fix the cue here. Light Blue, I might start calling you Sky Blue, because the next person in the queue is Sky High. And I have a way of stumbling over my words like that. Sky High, you wanted to ask about past life. You're welcome, honey. Let me know how it goes. I got a lot of messages like intuitively on your reading, so that makes me it makes me interested because that's just the way I'm wired. Too much Aquarius. Anything I need to know about my past life, like anything significant that happened that would help. Help in what regard? Help in what way? Like help you live a better life, help you in your career, help you, what information from your past life do you want to give you help in? So Sky High is looking for past life information. Sky High is looking really for any information, anything to know about their past life. Sky High, the reason why I'm asking you to narrow it down to a particular situation or part of your life is because otherwise we might get a real mixed bag. Okay, so what information from Sky High's past life can get them on the right path, get them unstuck? They are stuck, and the Sky High probably knows. A lot of times when we get stuck in our lives for no apparent reason, it can be because of past life trauma. It can also be stuff from this life that happened when you were so young that you don't remember how it affected you. I know that's often been the case with me. Sky High, are you one who acknowledges your ancestors, like not like an official, like I burn candles for my ancestors, but that you acknowledge that they have a role in your life? Sky High is really struggling and feeling stuck, and we ask for information from a past life that would help them to get unstuck, that would help them to see what that stumbling block is in their way. Okay, before I even lay these cards down, a message that's coming through to me over and like literally repeating itself over and over again is ancestors, ancestors, ancestors. So let's see what we have to say. So here's what's coming through to me with regard to ancestors. Okay. I want you to, if you've got some older folks in your family, I'm still going to do your reading, but this is coming through, so I want to tell you it. If you have people who know your ancestors, or if you have an ability to find out about them, find one that can be a role model for you. Or now they can be a positive role model, like be me, or they can be a negative role model, like don't be me. So by role model, I don't mean necessarily emulate them, but learn something from their lives and what they've done. Okay? So that's the first thing I have to say about that. You can also just, if you're having a good moment or a good thing happens, you might want to just silently say to yourself, thank you, ancestors. Just to start acknowledging them, if you want to. But you definitely would benefit from exploring your ancestors and finding out how they live their lives and seeing whether they're a positive, either a positive influence, or they're showing you through their life a positive way of being, or they're showing you through the life what not to do. They're always showing us something. Okay, let's see what we get here. Okay, so the first card that comes out is the Hermit. The second one is the Ten of Wands, reversed. And the last one is the Knight of Wands, reversed. So, two things right away that I can say. The first one is like, don't be so hasty. Don't be so hasty. I feel like that maybe you get your emotions get high and you rush into things. You're like a bull in a china shop when you do, though. Or you make decisions too quickly and without really thinking them through. And the other thing I would say that comes out right away is stop trying to carry more than you're able to carry. So this might manifest as someone who is the one that everybody lays their burdens on, and you lay it down. You take it on. You can do it. You can do it. So that's the first two pieces of advice that I would give you from your past life. The final one's a little bit interesting. It's the Hermit. And the advice here is actually to seek wisdom, which is interesting because I kept getting very strong this ancestor vibe, right? So the Hermit seeks wisdom, and they do that by withdrawing and holding back. So stop telling everybody your business. That sounds kind of harsh. I don't mean it the way it comes out sometimes. Everybody doesn't need to know what's going on in your heart and what's in your life. What's your favorite food, Sky High? What's your favorite thing to eat? Whatever that thing is, imagine that you have a limited supply of those. You have a lot of it, but it's limited. And you're starving to death. So you have to make decisions about who you're going to share that with and how much you need to keep for yourself to keep from starving. Okay? That's the way I'm picturing it. There might be other ways to picture it. But you have limited resources within you, and you have to be a little bit more choosy about who you give that energy to and how much you give. Yeah, I love Indian food too. So just imagine you're starving. You'll have a limited amount of whatever that dish is, but there are people coming at you needing help, and you want to help them. You still have to, with the Hermit there, you have to really be more discerning about where you're putting your energy. All right, so that is your advice from past lives. And thank you so much, Sky High. That was a very interesting question. And Light Blue, if you are up, if you want to please repost your question. I don't know if you actually posted it originally. I don't think you did. But you are up, my friend. I live in a town, Sky High, where there isn't any. I mean, I live in an area of the world where there isn't any decent Indian food, and I miss it so. When I lived in China, there were many good Indian restaurants, and I used to go to one in particular after I get paid. Okay, so Light Blue, like 4. Will I find a paying job soon? I am asking paying because I also have to do an internship where I'm not being paid. Okay, so that is a yes/no question. Are you okay with the yes/no question? Because maybe you want to ask what type of job, what type of paying job, or how will a paying job affect my internship or whatever. Thank you, Sky High. Let me know. I don't know what your beliefs are, but I really do feel ancestors coming in real strong for you. Okay. So is that yes to the question? I'm assuming it's yes to the question. Do you want to do tarot because that's or do you want to do the pendulum? Let me know, like put P for pendulum or T for tarot, and then tell me what. Okay. Okay. So you're wanting to know yes or no if you're going to get a job in that area. Okay. Let's see. We know what we know till we don't know, right? Oh, tarot. Okay, so how you want to phrase that question so it's not yes or no? Do you want to remind everybody that although you're not purchasing a reading, it would be great if you could donate a little something. That would help me a lot, but it's not necessary. It's all free. I'm told I should ask for what I want. I do not have enough secret sauce, whatever it is that YouTube considers necessary to get those chat things. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, I know it's tarot. So how would you like to rephrase that question so it's not a yes or no question? Because you said, will I find a paying job soon? That's a yes or no question. I started to say, I don't have enough subscribers or time or whatever it is to get super chats. So the only way I can take donations is through Venmo or Cash App. When will you find a job? Okay. Let's see if we get any timing cards. If we don't get timing cards, then I may not get a when, but I may get information about what to look for. So when will light blue get a job in the field that they're wanting to get a job in? When will light blue get a job in the field they're wanting to get a job in? I'm looking for timing cards. So Queen of Cups reversed. Wheel of Fortune reversed. And the Hierophant reversed. Okay, I don't see any timing cards right now. I think you're on a downward swing at the moment. That means that that energy will be changing. Oftentimes when we talk about changing energy, it's referring to the seasons. And I think with the Queen of Cups here, we're looking at winter. So probably sometime towards the end of the year, the beginning of next year, maybe right around the time you start your internship. As a matter of fact, as I'm saying that, the job may actually come as a result of the internship. So you might pick up some other kind of work through the internship itself. But you are in a downward swing. So what do we mean by that? We mean this is a time of gestation. This is the seed and the ground and the soil that is getting ready to put down roots and sprout. So the potential's there. And then we have also the Hierophant here, and it is reversed. So I get the feeling that this extra work may be kind of like contract work, like gig-ish work, if that makes sense, rather than working for a big company. So I hope that information is helpful in your quest. I do feel like you need to, keep trying, because you never know, because energies flow and change. But when you've got it reversed, that kind of refers to like kind of a non-conforming, unusual, out of the box kind of situation, and that to me speaks of like something gig-like or something contracted, like there's a specific project. And I also, like I said, I do feel like the energy is winter, and I also feel like so that would be towards the end of the year, beginning of next year, and I also feel like it'll be related, or you'll get it through some kind of contact in your internship itself. So when you get into the internship and you get to know people, maybe just kind of put the word out there that you're looking for a way to make a little extra money while you're doing this internship. Everyone's going to understand that, and that might help you to find something. All right? Okay. I'm glad that makes sense for you. Let me know what comes of it. I'll be very curious, because I'm an Aquarius, girl. Or boy, I'm sorry. I can't tell because the picture's too small. I think girl. I'm always curious to know what the situation ends up being. It's always like kind of uplifting. It's actually really, when I'm doing the readings for you guys, I feel a lot of love for you guys. Like motherly isn't quite the right vibe, but kind of like a agape kind of spiritual love for you folks. Okay, light blue, I hope that, even though you're not my favorite color, I'm kidding. I hope that was beneficial for you. Okay, believe it or not, my friends, we are 15 minutes into the second hour. I'll probably be here a little bit longer. Normally I said I'd be here about an hour, but I may hang out a little bit longer if anyone wants a last minute reading. I'm going to go ahead and say last call. Last call for readings, my friends. Do you remember me? It's always nice to get a little financial support, so like is lovely. I love like. Subscribe is fantastic. Comment even better. If you have the means, even though it's free, it would be great to have a little donation if you can afford it, $1, $2, $3, something like that. If you would like a full reading, that's going to be that is a set donation of $8. But the free reading, there's no donation required. You're welcome, Lighthouse. There's no light blue. See, I knew I was going to call you Lighthouse. Light blue. What was I saying? The reading is absolutely free, but it's always nice to get a little bump. But I do offer regular readings online live. When you donate for a regular reading, you do get ahead of the queue if there's a queue. The one question reading is $8. The up to three question reading is $12. You can save those questions for another time. So if you only have one question, but you want to have like 2 questions in reserve, you can do that. I'll write it down, keep track of you. And then the next time you come in, you can just let me know. I'm going to use up one of my questions. What else can I tell you? It was very interesting to do a little past life reading. It was interesting to me, especially to get messages about that. It's kind of interesting. Sometimes, how many times can I say interesting? It's intriguing. Sometimes when I'm shuffling for someone, I'll start getting images in my mind or hear like phrases in my mind that'll come through. And I try not to ignore them. I try to share them with the querent because they're not significant for me, but they may be significant for the person that I'm doing the reading for. And I will just remind everybody one last time that I do have a video out that talks about the 10 ways you can get a better reading. And I suggest you look at it so that you can come up with a good question. I will also let you know that I've started offering a end of the week pick a card reading. It shows up every Sunday. That's just a pre-recorded reading for you to pick a card, giving you some guidance on the week ahead. And just one final thing I'll say before I go. If you ask a yes/no question, which you certainly can, I will use the pendulum. That is the appropriate tool for a yes/no question. But if your question requires more detail, is more complex, the tarot is always the go-to for me. All right, we're coming up on 20 minutes after the hour. I think I'll go ahead and say goodbye if no one else is interested in a reading. Last call, last call. Okay. So thank you all, those of you who came. Phantom Punk, Otoya, Ari, Zara, Queen, Devoya, Light Blue, and and Sky High. Hey Starshine, would you like a reading, dear? Absolutely. I'm ready when you are. Star sign, I'm just going to warn you, I may break into a song from the play Hair because of your name. Okay, so Starshine, ask your question. If it's a yes/no question, I'll be using the pendulum. If it's a more complex or a more detailed question, I'll be using the tarot. I'd like to know about my natural gifts, like something I was born with, any psychic abilities, anything. Okay, Starshine, do you know your astrological chart? Wait, hold on to that thought. What I want you to do is focus on your question. Starshine would like to know their gifts. I'm just going to say your gifts, and that will cover psychic. What are Starshine's gifts that you would like to share with her that would be beneficial to, I think you're a her. If you're not a her, correct me. The pictures are very tiny, so I can't tell. Okay, so that would be a good source of information on psychic gifts for sure. Okay, I don't know much about Vedic astrology, but I think that it probably would address psychic gifts. So what are Starshine's gifts? I'm not going to sing it, but I am going to tell you the first verse of this song. It goes, "Good morning, starshine, the earth says hello. You twinkle above us, we twinkle below." Where does starshine twinkle? What are their gifts? What areas of Starshine's life are the ways that she shines? What are her gifts? Okay, you have a gift in helping people come together that have broken apart. So with the Lovers reversed, it's not necessarily romantic relationships or even relationships. It's this idea that you have a gift of when things are broken, you're able to fix them. And the reason why you're able to fix them is you have a very strong Mother Nature, kind of Earth Mother energy going for you. So you're a very generous and nurturing soul. And then the last coin kind of just reemphasizes that, this idea of generosity and helping others. Generosity with your time and your energy, and I will say that you have the King of Wands on the bottom, so you're very much someone who inspires others as well. So fixing what's broken, whether it's relationships or situations, could be a number of things. Having a strong Earth Mother energy, very nurturing, very abundant, and also very generous and really wanting to help other people. The warning I would give you, just unrelated to whatever is coming across in the tarot, is that one issue that you'll need to focus on as you move through your life is having healthy boundaries with others, because you are so loving and giving. You're like a light in the darkness for people, so they're going to be drawn. The most broken will be drawn to you, and that can be very draining. You have to remember that you are a person and a human being, and you have your own life. And I have a message that I wrote actually last week that I feel like applies. Only pour into cups that pour back into you. Well, that's something you need to explore. So I find, and I'm not a psychologist, so take it for the random advice I have to give, that a lot of times those feelings, like when we feel like we have self-worth issues, I find that things that happened in our childhood, maybe so long ago that we don't remember, kind of squelched our gifts and kind of pushed them really way down and told us that they were in some way put a negative spin on it, like it's almost like it's like a challenge to you to rise above the limitations that have been put upon you by your early life experiences. That's been my experience. For example, I never felt like I could do anything mechanical, like fix things, like saw a piece of wood in half or nail a nail, that kind of thing. And so for years and years, I just had this learned helplessness. And I had very critical parents, very critical father, and he used to say, we took a skills test in high school, I think it was high school, and I scored in the lowest percentage of students in mechanical ability. And so he would always tease me and call me 10%, because I was in the lowest 10%. And that crippled me. And it wasn't until I came to a situation where I had no choice but to do it myself that I realized that I did have that ability. So I would say that you need to explore this lack of self-confidence, or self-worth rather, because you are worth something. And in doing so, you will manifest this, that your light will shine. And I also would say that it's through those hard experiences that you become a more compassionate person. So that can also be it's also part of your learning fact. Here's the thing, and I'm not trying to scare you. I am who I am because I've gone through a lot of difficult situations where I've had to step up, that I won't bore you with. But I think you have a lot to offer, and if that self-confidence is standing in your way, then that is definitely something you need to think about and work on. But when you do work on it and you are feeling more confident, I keep saying self-confidence, but that's not what you said, self-worth. When you work on that and you start valuing yourself more, these experiences that you're having that have to do with your self-worth will be beneficial to others as you share your story. Okay? All right, Starshine, thank you so much. Look that song up. Might be a nice little song for you to sing to yourself. I think it's literally called Good Morning Starshine, and it's from the play Hair. There's also a movie. All right, so I think we're an hour and a half right now. Unless there are other people who would like a reading, I'm going to go ahead and say good night, good afternoon to everyone. I'm going to go ahead and close the queue. You're welcome, hon. I will probably be on tomorrow. It depends. I have errands to run, but I plan to be on tomorrow with free readings. So good afternoon, everybody.